happen. Well, it's telling me it's recording, so good afternoon, one and all. Tony Pellegrini, you should be here for IELE 5010, Integration of Technology into your classroom, and we are in week 10. Just difficult to be with you. And first, I just wanted to reach out and apologize to all of you for being in with fret and worry last week with me not showing up. We had my baby daughter got married on Saturday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday were a little bit crazy in the Pellegrini family. And so with everybody coming in from all over everywhere, and I just spaced you off. I apologize. Brandon and Carol did just a superior job in covering for me, and I just beg Brandon, please come back. I did get a note here from Brandon. He's struggling to get he's having some trouble logging in. He'll catch back up through the recording if he's not able to get in. So please, if you're one of Brandon's learners, don't be anxious. If you don't see him, just reach out to him after the fact, and he will catch you up and keep you up with everything that we're doing in the next couple of weeks. Yes, we will have, this will be week 10, week 11, and week 12. And with our, I was telling Carol just a moment or two ago that with our these last couple of weeks, we are having quite a different time. It's just basically discussion posts these next couple of weeks, and then in week 11 our technology integration project will be due, and then in week 12 our our online portfolio will. And so that is really what we wanted you to be aware of and to be able to engage with in our activities over the next few weeks. We do have, let me see if I can, I'll share my screen with you here in just a moment as soon as it comes up, but I wanted to let you know that I would encourage you. I did set a calendar invite with our activities within with the discussion activities and a little bit of an update associated with the the final 2 assignments that will be coming up. And if you, for some reason, if you're struggling to get into the presentation tonight, there is a link in that tonight as well. I'm just going to see if I'm going to be able to see that a little bit or open that a little bit more closely. Let me see if I can get that open here for you. It's giving me just a little bit of heartburn, but within that presentation, you will find our links to the content associated with tonight's activities, this week's activities, our discussion activities, as well as our presentations that we'll be enjoying from you as learners regarding the elements that we'll be engaging in.
Hey, Tony.
Please go right ahead.
There's a few people that are saying that the sound is garbled and choppy, and that we've received a computer message that there's a bandwidth problem. I'm not sure if you're in a space where are you on wireless or are you hardwired in?
I'm wireless. I'm sure it is my issue or my problem. Carol, would you be willing to would you be willing to open up our presentation tonight and see if there is if you can share that screen, your screen with us. I'm sorry to call on you
not
again.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Okay, hopefully, I'm not sure if that, can you see my screen yet?
Almost. Let's see if it's going to come up. I see Carol Neff, and it's still thinking here.
Okay, let me
and maybe
try
our
again.
learners are. I think something's coming.
Okay.
I'm seeing a bluish background. It says I'm seeing Carol Neff's screen. I don't know if there we go. Great. Hey, let's go down, if you would, to skip down to slide number 4 with that little pencil kind of in the upper right-hand corner. That'd be great. This week's the discussions that we're going to be working on and focusing on is using technology to help us in our math classrooms. Now, I realize, guys, not everyone is a math teacher. And as we designed this class, we have elementary teachers who are teaching everything, and we have secondary teachers who are teaching a content area. And so it is important to be able to engage with and participate, or at least have some options or some activities in order to address these math issues and how we can integrate technology within our math classrooms. Yes, even if I'm an old drama teacher, and there are a couple drama teachers in our class, even if you're a drama teacher and you're never going to use these tools, I did want to at least share these links with you regarding tools that can be used and conversations that can be had in regards to to this math war. Focus on is direct instruction the most appropriate way to engage with and participate with math, or is the activities associated with having students to discover what they understand and know about math? Alfie Cohen's got a great article that I provided a link to you here, as well as a link to this teaching and learning with technology in math and science. I wanted you to at least be able to skim over those and have those as a component of your activities. Carol, would you be willing to go to the next slide, please? Thanks so much for your help. Again, I thought these were, does technology help, or is technology a support to the integration of instruction in math? Absolutely. And so what I provided for you on this slide are some links to technology integration strategies that you'll be able to use if you do teach math or work with math within your academic area. And so as you address the discussion prompt this week, these links will help you as well to be able to conceptualize and understand the point of view that technology is a support, yes, even to math. Carol, would you be willing to go to our next slide, the one with the little planets on it, in the upper right-hand corner? Thank you so much. Science as well, technologies, similar to tools that we're using in this class are absolutely tech tools that can be used and integrated in your classrooms for science education. And again, I'd sure encourage you to take a peek at these. Again, if science is a part of your background. If it's not, you may want to skim over them just to have a concept or perception as you do approach the responses to this week's discussion. Can you go to the next slide, please, Carol? Thank you so very much. I did want to remind you, we are in week 10 at the end of next week on the 27th. Our technology integration plan is going to come due, and hopefully you've been working at least a little bit with your instructor to collaborate a little it on your technology integration plan. What we're looking for in regards to these plans is at least 5 components. The first component would be even a paragraph or 2 that explains some of the individual planning that you've done to integrate technology within your unit plan or lesson plan, something hopefully that interests you and that does connect with you. There will need to be a second component associated with that, associated with some collaborative planning. As I visited with my learners, one of the questions I asked was at the beginning of the term was, do you have someone in your district who can help you with putting putting some technology components within your class as another teacher? Do you have a school technology leader or a district technology person that you could connect with? At the least, you could say, for those of you that work with me in my class, hey, Tony and I got together and we brainstormed at least once about some collaborative things that we could do in order to make this plan work within my classroom. Carol, would you click to our next slide, please? Thank you so much. And it doesn't have to be a paper per se, but it does have to have at least a 3rd, 4th, and 5th section associated with this. In the 3rd section, it does have to be an implementation. I'd love to see a minimum of 4 weeks of work. That does not necessarily mean to be every day within that week, but implementing your plan to integrate whatever technology you felt most comfortable with within your classroom. And so a unit or a series of lessons that you could share how you implemented or put into practice these particular technology components. Then the fourth part of your technology integration plan had to deal with a brief asynchronous presentation. I suggested using no video here. It's not a requirement. If you wanted to use Screencast-O-Matic or something like that, but to put into a short presentation that you could share with your school community group, a council, or your principal, or share with your PLC, your team that you work with, your learning team that you work with within your school. Something to just be, or maybe parents, to be able to show and demonstrate some of the efforts that you're making to be able to integrate these technologies within your class, within your activities. And finally, a short reflection. It could be anything from, oh my goodness, I'm never going to put that, I'm never going to try poll everywhere again with my learners. That really fell on its face, to, I felt my learners really did connect with technology and were able to put into practice some of these tools and skills that we've learned about in class or other classes to be able to engage with these. And so that is going to be due, your technology integration plan is going to be due at the end of week 11. I think it's the 27th of March is when that will be due. And hopefully this is not a surprise to you. Each of us, Carol and Brandon and myself, have worked hard to at least engage and encourage you early on in the class, because we knew that you would need to integrate or make that make those connections possible. Let me pause here for a second and see if you want to type that within the chat. If you have questions or concerns at all with this technology integration project or plan that's due in week 11, would you please speak up and let me know? And Carol, if you see any there that I'm not seeing, don't hesitate to call those out, and let's see if we can get those addressed.
So far, I'm not seeing anything in the chat, and I'm not hearing from anybody, so I'm thinking we're okay. But if anybody has anything, please make sure you speak up or put it in the chat.
Thank you so much. And I think we've talked about this again and again, this should be nothing new or surprising, but I did want to make sure that as it is a major assignment coming up, we really want to get that in. Carol, would you be willing to go to our next slide, please? I just wanted to, Brandon suggested that we provide links to last week's presentations. It's been a tough week. I couldn't find one I apologize from Lindsay and Tara, and I'm not being critical here, please. I'm sure they had those, but I wasn't able to find those links to put those on, or from Philip and Christine. But did leave links here from Candace and Heidi and Emily and Leslie. And so just wanted to make sure that you had access to those if you needed those. Could you go to our next slide? And I think we have just 3 presentations tonight. Demonstrating a with-itness. Emily and Rachel have 2 short ones that they've done, and we'll start first with them. Would you, Carol, I apologize for putting you to work, but would you go ahead and click on the with-itness one and let you know if I can't hear that, but okay. Let's see what we can. I think it should just take us to the link.
Hello, welcome to my presentation about element 33, demonstrating with-itness. My piece of this presentation was the second part, which was about noticing potential problems. So my piece of this really is talking about using best practice that as teachers, pedagogically, we hopefully at this point all know that really prevention is the best classroom management. And so one quote from the text I like to support that said, effective teachers maintain alertness and vigilance, putting out behavior barriers before they spread. So what this with-itness is using technology to do what we've been taught as teachers to do for years and stay on top of things and stay ahead of that behaviors before they become an issue. So there are a couple of ideas in the text that I really like. The first is using polling technology to help either diffuse situations or to stay on top of issues before they get worse. Some of the ideas were that students could rate their feelings about adhering to rules, they could rate their behavior, other things like that. And then it suggested that you use the results to spur discussion about behavior that's happening in the classroom, your expectations, what the procedure should be, and to really build community. And I thought that was a great way to get student input and have the students really have some buy-in into their behaviors and what's going on in the classroom. Another suggestion for upping your with-itness with technology was to use technology as a diversion from disruptive stimuli and redirect to behaviors. So the suggestion that the text gave was to use an online journal, maybe in Google Drive, and have students open that up to redirect their behavior, and they can write about their feelings, they can list alternative positive behaviors, but what that does is it stops them in the moment from the bad behaviors and helps them get back on track and think about more positive behaviors or your procedures or your expectations. So online journaling is another technology tool that you could use to help with your with-itness and really nip those problems in the bud. So in the end, really, with-itness and noticing potential problems is about pedagogical best practices and being proactive, be creative, and be engaging by using technology to amp up your with.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Carol, for taking us, for clicking through that for us. As you go ahead and click on Rachel's name here, we'll open up the next, or the first component of that. They're out of order, but it still doesn't force us to not utilize and participate those. Oh, shoot. Well, Carol, don't worry about that. I think the same issue happened for me, but we'll move to number 34, applying consequences. I would encourage our learners to go ahead and read these or view these as they can. Go ahead, Carol.
This presentation is on element 34, Apply Consequences for Lack of Adherence to Rules and Procedures by Torey, Larson, and Deanne Smith. So this is for students who are having trouble following the rules and guidelines. So the key to efficiently using this element is to give consequences consistently and fairly. Those are the two key words. You need to be consistent and fair. That's out of our reading from Enhancing the Art and Science of Teaching with Technology. Timeout is the first heading. It is if a student becomes emotional and is losing control or generally needs some space. This is where the teacher can send a student to a designated area to cool off, inside or outside of the classroom. The student needs to be supervised. Students should complete a reflection activity and make a plan during this time. So the plan should include what they should have done differently. So during this time, they need to have completed the 3 R's to come back to class: reflect, relax, and ready to try again. Here are some samples of behavior activities that they can fill out while they're cooling off. Some are in paper form, and for older students, a teacher can make a template or find a template and save it to Google Drive, keep it on Evernote, anything like that, and a student can fill it out that way as well. Interdependent group contingency. If every student in class is meeting expectations, the teacher rewards the whole class. Students can hold each other accountable. In high school and middle school, teachers need to proceed with caution. They need to kind of make sure that they're being positive with each other. Use random group makers and online behavior management resources such as Class Dojo. Social media, class websites, or Canvas can be used to post rules, procedures, and consequences, and encourage students to comment and have discussions on this page. Here's some samples of tracking group progress. So the first one is Flip Quiz. It's a random group maker, and that's just one of many group makers. And then there's Class Dojo. There's a tracking chart that you see, but if you use Class Dojo, you can also use their random group makers. So you don't need to find a different one if you use Class Dojo. Home contingency. This is maintaining home-to-teacher communication about academics, personal, and behavioral success. These can be a phone call, a written note, email, text, a face-to-face conference, and a website or app. Class Dojo and Remind app allows the students and families to keep track of student behavior goals and progress. So something that can be a positive effect from home contingency is that students see the line of communication open between families and the teacher, and so they could feel that support growing around them, both at home and outside of school. Outside of class and in class. And then the families can feel like they have more of an input on their child's education. And the teacher also has more support from the families to help further the education. And that is our report. Thank you.
You are certainly welcome, and I just want to share. It's about the research is about 20 years old, but William Perky identified that there should be at least a dozen positive interactions between teacher and parent at home with these home contingencies before, or two, one negative one. I know it's so easy to identify those negative behaviors, but positive work that our learners have done, anything positive that we can find to be able to communicate and to show off the behaviors that we really love and that we value so profoundly. It is essential. Technology tools today that we have are wonderful to be able to reach out and connect with our parents. Carol, would you go ahead and click on this? Or we've done. I think we. Or would Diane and Heidi want to do 35, acknowledging and adherence to our rules and procedures? What's gone well? Go right ahead.
Hi, this is Heidi and Diane, and we are going to be talking about element 35, acknowledging adherence to the rules and procedures. When students are following
Well, the visuals are very powerful here.
one of the things that I do in my classroom is I have magic cards.
Oh, there we go. Oh, thank you.
One of the magic cards is they get a phone call home from me to their parents telling them how much I enjoy having them in my class. And they'll work harder for that magic card than any other card that I give.
I'm not sure why the other person's sound isn't coming in, but it's really, really quiet. So between the two people, we're getting one person's sound. So sorry about that. I don't know how to fix it.
I don't know either, Carol. Thank you so much for your help and your efforts. There's a lot that's coming through with the visuals. Absolutely, these are great tools to be able to engage with or address parents in a very positive approach. And
Diane says that she's here. Diane, do you want to talk over this part then?
Thanks so much, Diane.
Okay, Diane's going to jump in just a second.
We're appreciative of you, Diane. Thank you so much for your support.
Okay, Diane asked if we can just come back to them, so I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this one right now,
Okay.
and we'll come back to it in just a minute.
Well, that is fine. That is fine. And that is great. Let's just preview. The last couple slides were just something that we want you to preview and be prepared for. We'd really like you to be aware of the Rural School Conference this summer, July 10th through 12th. It's going to be in Price at Utah State, their CEU campus. And would encourage you to engage this summer with the conference. I don't know if I will be able to be over to Price this summer during this week, particularly for any students and in this class, and particularly students that have engaged with me. If you've had what you feel is a very positive technology integration project or particular tools that you've learned, that you've engaged with within this class and can see some real benefit, I would urge you probably to go ahead and present at one of these breakout sessions. Be brave, give that a try. Again, I may not be able to physically be there, but if you want to engage with me or open up a Zoom class similar to this, or Zoom activity similar to this WebEx activity that you're seeing here tonight, you participated with in our class, I'd be happy to present alongside you, following your lead in Price, from me being over here in Cedar and helping and support you. But I think some of the things that you're learning and that you're implementing in your classes, I've just been very, very proud of the efforts that you've made, and would encourage you strongly to at least consider coming to Price with us and presenting over there. Could we go to the next slide, Carol? Just a thanks. You can find me at this cell phone number, at this email address. Do not hesitate to reach out and connect with any questions. If you're in Carol's class, if you're in Brandon's class, they'd be tickled to work with you as well. I'm not sure about summer classes for the endorsement, what's going to be offered during the summer. I anticipate there'll be some next fall as well too. So if you have peers or friends or associates that would be interested in implementing these technologies within their classrooms as well, we'd love to have you reach out to them and connect with UEN to participate either this summer or starting next fall as well. And please go right ahead. There's a comment out there.
This is Brandon, actually. UEN is up their course registration April 1st, so they'll be sending stuff out in the next week or two about registration and courses that will be available this summer.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Brandon. It's great to hear your voice and be connected with you. Thanks so much for coming in. Carol, please go right ahead.
Yeah, so for those of you in Davis, I will send out that link for the summer course as well, so you can sign up for that. So just be watching for that in the next couple of weeks.
Fantastic. There's still snow on the ground down here in Cedar. I can't believe we're talking about summer, but hey, we need every little drop of moisture we can get. I just want to share as well, those of you who do not have master's degrees, these classes do count as electives in your SUU masters. And if you have questions or concerns or want to know how that works, please don't hesitate to reach out to me in the future. And if you'd like to earn your master's degree along with your EdTech endorsement. And then can we go to the next slide, and then we can go back to, just wanted to make you aware for next week, our presentations associated with section 36 or element 36, understanding student interests and backgrounds, 37, using verbal and nonverbal behaviors, and then 38, displaying objectivity and control, using technologies to help support and engage. And so if you'll work with Carol and make sure you get those presentations to her sometime before next Wednesday, so that she can get those into her presentation and to make that run smoothly. And I think that's the last slide, isn't it, Carol?
Yes, it is. And Diane says she's sorry they can't get the microphone figured out. So I feel bad that we couldn't hear the sound on that. But Diane, if you can resend, maybe just send it to me, resend it, and I'll put it on next week's if we can get the sound to work next week on it. So hopefully we can do that. And then also it was, who was it? Rachel Merkley. If you're listening, if you'll get yours again, if you can share it with where anyone who has rights can view it so that we don't have to request permission, that would be helpful, and then we can get yours up there as well.
It's a learning process. We certainly live in a brave new world with all these technologies and approaches and learning how to cross our T's and dot our I's. It's a new experience for all of us. It's part of the learning process. So thank you so very much. Thanks for coming to my rescue again, Carol. And we will see same bat time, same bat channel next week. Carol will be leading our discussion, and then I'll finish up the week 12 the week after that. If you have questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us, and then to your instructor in particular. But give us will answer any questions that's proposed to us. And two, it's just been an honor learning alongside you this week. Keep up the good work that you're doing. I'm very proud of your efforts and very pleased with the conversations and works and connections that we're making among one another. I'm not seeing any other questions or concerns.
One more question, Tony.
Please, go right ahead.
Question from, and I'm going to say your name wrong, I'm sorry. I'm just going to say Lonnie, how's that? She had a question about the master's classes. Is there a time limit to apply the classes they're taking now to their master's if they're going to do it through SUU?
Lonnie, what a wonderful question. Absolutely wonderful question. Yes. You do have to finish your master's work within your master's degree within a 6-year window. So, if you need to take a year off after these classes, perfectly fine. But if you're going to take a 10-year hiatus, you're going to have to start all over. So, I would encourage you to send me a copy of your transcripts. Right now, I'm the Director of Graduate Education at SUU, and we'll be happy to work with you, Lonnie, and anyone else in class that would be a benefit to. It does take about a third of the price off of the total master's degree by taking these classes at the 5,000 level. I hope that helped, Lonnie.
You were breaking up just a little bit when you answered the time limit. Can you just repeat that?
Yes, absolutely. And let's see if I can type it down here in the message as well. Can you give me just a second? There's a 6-year window that you have to complete all of your classes, the 5,000 level classes as well as the master's classes. And usually it takes about 2 years to complete the master's degree, so you do have a little wiggle room. Does that kind of was that kind of clear?
Yes, that worked. Thank you, Tony.
And and you've got it already, but I'm going to just type my cell phone number. Don't hesitate to give me a cell phone call. I'd be happy to visit with you or anyone else about that in any way. Thanks so much. Hearing nothing else, Carol, thank you very much. Brandon, thank you very much, everyone. It's been a joy learning alongside you. Keep up the good work, and we'll see you next week, if not before, and if you need me. Ciao.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, everyone.